Hi everyone and welcome back. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the NEO platform and the NEO cryptocurrency. Before we get started, we can examine a few pieces of interesting information related to NEO. It was released in 2014, ended up going through a rebranding, and a really interesting note is that it's known as the Chinese Ethereum. One benefit of NEO, and we're going to get into it later, is that it's very useful for developers because it offers a range of mainstream programming languages to use to develop with. So keep that in mind as you move through the documentation. Very easy to use, at least from the development side, known as the Chinese Ethereum, released in 2014 and went through a rebranding. But let's jump right into it. Similar to our other blockchain platforms and coins, the base asset of the NEO blockchain is the NEO token. A benefit of NEO is that it supports a range of languages such as JavaScript and C++ by using a customized version of Docker called NEO VM. And this will come into play a little later, but imagine for the developer standpoint, being able to use specific languages or a range of languages makes it very efficient, very easy to implement and work with. Also, we saw in our introduction that NEO was launched originally in 2014, but as AntShares through the development company OneChain, and rebranded to NEO in 2017. A few months ago in March, OneChain, remember the OneChain is the parent company, distributed one ontology token for every 5 NEO in a wallet that will be used to vote on things such as system upgrades and government issues on the NEO platform. Similar to some other coins, NEO is a non-profit, community-based blockchain project. It's open source on GitHub, and the organization aims to help transform the smart economy. Remember, blockchain and crypto are part of the disruptive technologies, but let's take a look at the documentation on GitHub. And we can see it listed here. If you want to get more into the technicalities and the information related to it, you can scroll through, see the supported platforms, development information, how to contribute. You can scroll through the repository. NEO, as you see, open sourced, released under the MIT license. This is just a great reference if you want to scroll through it further. Remember, you can visit it at github.com/neo-project/neo. And with that recurring theme, with NEO, we have the emphasis of the smart contract. One aspect and benefit is that it pushes the benefits for those looking to work with it. Developers can easily get started with smart contracts. Remember earlier we mentioned that it offers a range of programming languages that you're able to develop with. This helps because, for instance, if you're only used to working with one, say you're working with Python, you can pick it up. You won't have to learn a specific language to work with this as a developer. And now we arrive at the distribution, one of the key aspects of the cryptocurrency. 100 million NEO were created in Genesis, with 50 million NEO sold to early investors and the remaining 50 million locked into a smart contract. Each year, 15 million are unlocked for the development team to fund long-term development goals. Gas tokens, the alternative token, are used to pay for transactions on the network, and gas is generated at a rate of 8 gas per block. Production is reduced by 1 token for every 2 million blocks, and around the year 2039, gas circulation will reach 100 million and production will cease. Gas can be divided though, unlike NEO. And also for consensus, NEO uses the delegated Byzantine fault-tolerant consensus, and it's similar to Stellar. And for some related information, this actually just happened very recently. On July 4th, 2018, NEO entered the era of decentralization. Keep that in mind for the near future. And on a side note, not to digress too much, but a great method of keeping up with how these cryptocurrencies, how these platforms are doing is always to check their documentation, to check their blogs. Quite a few of them have blogs and put out press releases and just general information quite often, because with these cryptos, they're trying to be very transparent with blockchain. That is definitely one of the benefits that we can see is the transparency. And with this, you can scroll through and take a look at the blog here. Again, other cryptocurrencies, other platforms have them as well. Just another great way to keep on top of information, whether it's just technical or how the coin is performing or any recent partnerships with the company. As we wrap it up here with NEO, the organization hopes to provide the connection between digital and physical assets through a digital identity and its use of smart contracts. Once the assets have been digitized, decentralization and transparency become key, and this is really what NEO aims to provide by using its blockchain platform. So, as an overview, NEO is seen as the Chinese Ethereum, has many benefits, one of them being the adaptability and use for developers since you're able to take it on with many languages. It's very transparent, open sourced, designed to build a scalable network of decentralized applications. Has the distribution created at Genesis of 100 million NEO coins. And with the recent move into the era of decentralization on July 4th, it's going to be interesting to see how this performs, and keep in mind, pay attention to see which companies and which backing pick it up over the next year or two, along with how the market performs. It's always interesting to analyze how the market is performing related to how these companies are being supported, along with who is picking them up. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to share them, and enjoy cryptocurrencies.